Alt tab, Maggie.
Aye. There we are anyway.
Why are you using display capture?
Because it keeps messing up on me. It won't capture the screen, or there's a massive delay in capturing the screen. At times.
Alt tab, Maggie.
Aye. There's my phone, there's the delay on it.
Yeah, turn the volumes down on all them things.
Yeah. Right. So I suppose just to explain to you what I'm doing here, because you don't do this.
Yeah, I'm not on it.
There was an event on the last live stream that I done on Star Trek Fleet Command. There was an event on. The Borg are the new content. This is the second arc. It's supposedly coming in 3 arcs. We're in the second arc. They have offered us lots and lots of daily events. Many of them are how you achieve the rewards in the main mission, Borg mission arc, right? And the main rewards from it, Borg Invasion it's called. So I've done a video or two on this, and the last live stream on this I done was looking at the Vidar, the new ship, the Vidar. I don't know if you're familiar with, the new J.J. Abrams movies where, because this is the Kelvin timeline, the new J.J. Abrams movies where Nero comes back in time, the red matter and all of that. You've seen that, yeah?
Which one is that?
The one that Spock has the new ship, the jellyfish and all that.
Is that the second movie?
Is that the second one? Where Nero's the Romulan miner, and he's converted his ship and he comes back and he blows up Kirk's fire. That could be the first movie. Where they reset the timeline, basically. Spock's mother dies, all this kind of carry on. Vulcan gets destroyed, all of this. You're familiar with them movies, you've seen them.
I've seen one of them.
Right. So this looks a little bit like Nero's ship. It looks like a Romulan ship, kind of partly converted into what looks like Nero's ship. That's the best way I can describe it. It's called the Vidar, and it's specific to killing Borg, right? You can use it to go out and kill other ships. It's just not going to be particularly efficient at that, but it's way more efficient than any other ship you're going to get for killing the Borg. And we've seen this style of content before with what we call the Swarm, and the Swarm were in that J.J. Abrams timeline in one of the later movies. And we have a Franklin. The Franklin was from one of them movies where it's like an older ship. They dusted off, I suppose fitted out a bit better, and it's better for killing these swarm ships. So we've seen that the Franklin. We've got the Franklin. It was one of the new ships. You wouldn't really use the Franklin for anything else except going out and doing your swarm. And then they've brought in kill a certain amount of swarm as part of your daily goals now as well, which is very, very useful. It's one of the better things that they've done in the game. Is there's 3 daily objectives to complete by killing these swarms. Most players, once they get to the sufficient level, even if it's not with the Franklin, will at least complete one of those objectives, you'd imagine, with a little bit of grinding, and more often than not they'll complete 2 out of 3, and if you're doing reasonably well you'll complete 3 out of 3, and that will set you well on your way to completing your daily goals, which then will open up a certain amount of chests with extra rewards as you do your dailies.
How much time will it take you to do that?
So I suppose if I need to do this swarm yet, so with the ship that I've got a decent Franklin. It's not the best Franklin, but I've got a decent Franklin. So are you watching the stream while we talk?
Yeah.
Right, so I'll demonstrate it here now. So I'm going to speed up the repair on this ship. And this is just the preface for anybody that doesn't really know Star Trek Fleet Command. Those that do know Star Trek Fleet Command will know exactly what I'm talking about. I'll swap this ship to the Franklin. Okay. And that ship, you'll see there, it increases the damage when fighting swarm by 20,850%.
Right.
That's quite big, like. Now I can go out and kill the swarm with other ships. This one is just designed for it. Okay. the officer setup you're looking at there, some would argue, there would be, the way we'd have this debate in various different games, we've seen it in Final Fantasy XI when you'd be doing Ambuscade, for example, this is the meta, this is what you have to use, this is what you have to use, and people aren't taking into account wee nuanced little things in the game. So there would be those that would look at this, that would say, you need to be using, on the left there you can see I've got Carol Marcus, right? There'd be people going, no, you have to have Cadet Kirk, or you have to have Cadet Scotty, or sorry, not Cadet Scotty, Cadet Bones, like Cadet McCoy, and yes, they work. The thing is, different officer levels, different research levels, different wee nuanced things in the game. If you're willing to go out and test it, you might find that you squeeze an extra few percentages of efficiency out of something else other than the meta, because of your particular setup. Because the Final Fantasy equivalent would be certain gear that you've got. If you don't have the gear that's required, certain gear that you've got may mean you do things in a slightly different way that's more suited to that setup. Even though if you had the right gear, all done properly, the meta would of course be the way to go. But if you don't have everything perfect for the meta, or you're testing something slightly different, you might find, that piece of that earring, for example, when I do this move, people haven't considered that this specialist move on your Dark Knight with this earring actually does an extra little bit of weapon skill damage, so I might kill this slightly quicker, right? The same applies here in the sense of Carol Marcus there, who I've got on the left. I can swap her now to Cadet Cadet Kirk or Cadet Bones quite easily, and they will both be efficient for that job, but my Carol Marcus is better in the sense that my Kirk is not leveled up maxed out, so he increases the weapon damage of the ship by 15%. Carol Marcus, at the level that she's at, and I'm after swapping them, let me put Carol back in. There she is. So Carol Marcus's ability will increase the weapon damage by 20%. So she's more efficient for me killing Swarm with that officer setup, just because Kirk is not maxed out, right? Let me see. Cadet McCoy is another one. He works pretty well. And he increases the effectiveness of the captain's maneuver. But the standard meta there is you will have Cadet Uhura for killing Swarm, and you will have Talan, the wee Vulcan girl there on the right hand side, right? And Talan's ability, objective defense, will reduce the damage I take by 20% from a kinetic weapon, which the Swarm are an interceptor type ship and mainly kinetic weapons, right? So she'll only really be relevant to the Swarm in that sense. There's another officer I can use, does a similar thing for energy weapons, Chen. If I can find her, I might have passed her already. Hold on a second. Where is she? I might have passed her already. And Chen will basically do the same as Talan except for energy weapons. Right, so I could equip Chen, and Chen is generally one of the go-to officers for mitigation and reduction in damage, but less efficient against Swarm because of their kinetic weapons. Okay?
Yeah, Flando's on there now. So.
Okay, is Flando in chat, or is he just talking in the stream?
Yeah.
Good man, Flando. So you can correct me in anything that I'm saying here, Flando. I'm bringing Grimgram up to speed, essentially, and for anybody that might be watching that doesn't really play this game as much as, say, we would, right? So I'm explaining basically why we've got a meta in terms of officers for the Swarm, right?
Yeah. Well, are you live?
I'm live.
All right, I'll be on my best behaviour then.
That's all right. So I'm going to relate this Swarm thing now to the Vidar and the officer setup there. I'm gonna lead into that in a wee while, but I'm explaining how Talan is preferable for Swarm because she's kinetic mitigation. I use Carol Marcus instead of Cadet Kirk or Cadet McCoy because she just works better for me because I don't have all of them officers maxed out. Okay.
Yeah,
Dean, about just with that third officer. I think it's down to people's preference. I mean, I've tried Cadet Kirk, Instructor Spock, and Cadet and I get the same kills with each one.
Right.
Some have said different, but
I have found when, you know the way you'll do your top dailies, for example, you'll go in and you'll kill the 20, like for me it's, let me see, for me it's at the moment, because now I'm 33, so 20 level 32s and then 25 level 32s. I can go in and do them. I'll need my best officer setup for that, right? But before I was doing it with Carol Marcus, I found, you know the way you'd be doing that, and then sometimes you'll go, right, I'm going to go down now, save my ship a wee bit, rather than doing repairs, I'm going to go and I'm going to hit 28s, for example, level 28s, to complete the third daily. I don't know if you do that.
Yeah.
Right, I won't be repairing my Franklin another 2 or 3 times. Like I do it, but if I want to get them over quickly without the repairs and sending the ship out again and all that there, I'll just go down to a level 28 system when I have about 50% hull health and just complete them, right? I found when I switched between Cadet McCoy, Instructor Spock and Cadet Kirk that I was getting different results in terms of the amount of kills I was getting down in the lower 30s, 28s, 26s. Can't remember who it was now, but one was working out better on the lower swarm and one was working out better on the higher swarm.
Alright.
So, but again, this is like anybody. Hugo, when I want to give a wee shout out to Hugo, Hugo commented on a recent video saying, keep testing all of your officers. And he's right, because even though there might be a meta there that works when everything is in place and the way it should be, many of us with our research, with the officer levels and all of the rest of that, we might find different results. And to illustrate that, and I'll do that wee bit of this during the stream, hopefully, I tested out a couple of things earlier when it came to just general farming of hostiles. We're in the middle of this Hunt of Factions at the moment. Yeah. So I was up in Romulan space checking something out because I just got Pike yesterday, right? Done that wee bit of a video, right? And says, right, everybody's raving about Pike. And I wondered to myself, my go-to setup for farming hostiles is my Saladin on battleships. And when I'm doing this event, in this instance, it was up in Romulan space, up in Lapides, I think. Lapides level 36. So up there you get your battleships. Of course it'll be a different place for the Klingons. It's down Kuvluv or something is the place for battleships if you're using your Saladin in Klingon space. I'll just find it here and show it while I'm on. Over beside Beta Pente, Kuvlu whatever 36 is the place for battleships there. And of course then you've got Axanar and the other Federation system where you do the same in Federation space. Let me see. Axanar is actually slightly lower level, I think. No, Axanar 36 will have battleships in it, I believe.
So what are you looking for battleships ideally?
Yeah, right. So that's what I'm saying is my go-to thing. They're the places that I go to kill battleships, right? When I'm farming with the Sally for the battle triangle, right? Or when I'm doing an event like this, Hunt of Factions, with the Sally, right? That's my main go-to ship. I will use other ships, and the passive grinding, of course, when you're hostile with one of these one of these factions, you can just leave the ship in that system and it'll accrue points for you there anyway. I'll usually do that with the Federation because I'm hostile with the Federation, so I don't often go to Axanar for battleships unless I have to get it done that little bit quicker. Right. At the moment, I'm doing pretty alright. I've left a few ships out passive grinding. Very surprised that Rog or others haven't come and killed me. They might do that if they stream snipe me tonight.
Well, you're live, so you know.
Yeah, it might happen yet.
They might try a live kill.
What do you mean? What do you mean passive grinding?
So you leave you're hostile in a system. You know, you've once you build reputation with say the Romulans. Romulans were my go-to place. They were the faction that I threw all in. I was all in with them.
Yeah.
So I just started to work on my Romulan reputation to max it out. They recently brought in a hard cap on your reputation. So when you get it up to 10 million, 500, whatever it is, it capped at that. And they removed that cap and there was a bit of uproar. So they brought it back in then, right? And they raised the levels, which raised the entire cap then of the amount of reputation you could get with them. That used to be the maximum reputation, right? And and it locked at that. You couldn't lose reputation with them once it locked, right? Now they've raised the cap on that so high, they removed the lock at 10 million, right? People gave out, they replaced the lock is back in, so once you get your faction to 10 million whatever, it'll stay at that, it won't drop below that now, right? Because of that, I had Romulans already up past the 10 million mark, so happy enough with that. Worked on the Klingons. I think we done a video, Flando, we might have been even streaming, I don't remember, when we were discussing this very subject around the best way to kind of claw back your reputation with another faction. Because what happens, and I'll just for Grimgram's benefit if he's watching, I'll go into the factions just to show him what I mean. It used to be displayed very differently back in the day, but
I remember you telling me about factions. Once you went with one faction, you were hostile to another.
Yes.
Or whatever.
So if you're looking at the screen, I don't know if you can see it. It's maybe hasn't caught up yet.
It'll be a 10-second delay or whatever.
Yeah. So we'll give.
Yeah, I can see that.
Right. So you can see that's Federation. Minus 2 million points to hostile, 1.5 million. Okay, and then you'll get to tolerated, and that's when you're in the positive with that. When you claw back that 2 million. Sorry. So with Klingons there, I haven't actually even looked at this. I'm at 4.19 million on the way to respected by the Klingons. 2 million into that 4 million would have brought me into positive reputation with them, right? The more I worked on that, it's at the expense of Federation and Romulan. When I work on the Klingons, right?
Yeah, like a balance.
Right? Yeah. But because now I've got Romulan locked at the 10 million, that's not going to change there. Okay? So I can work away. I've got now, I'll soon have Klingon. Well, not soon, but I'm on my way to have Klingons up to 10 million. That'll happen over time. I'm not in a rush to do that because when I go into Klingon space now, they won't attack me because what am I at with them? I'm an associate with them, right? So they'll leave me alone, but because I'm regarded as an enemy of the Federation, anytime one of my ships goes into Federation space, there will be an attack ship sent after it.
Okay.
Automatically. They're generally tougher than the average hostile. If you go into a system where you could farm the normal hostiles in that system, you could just grind away. An attack ship at that level will probably destroy that ship. Right, if I can go them level 36 systems that I was talking about, the battleships, I can go in with my ship and I can farm away in them systems all day nearly on the Saladin, right? It'll take a while, but I can do it all day. That Sally won't die on me too easy. If I leave that Saladin idle in a hostile system while I'm doing that, I'll be lucky to escape one hit from one of these ships. I might get one or two hits because it's the Saladin and because it's certain officer setup and things like that there, but it's not going to survive very long. So if I go into a lower level system where the hostiles are weaker, I can leave my ship there and they'll passively grind because these attack ships will come after them.
Yeah, and it'll just respond.
And my ship will defend itself and destroy it, and then another one will come on until eventually my ship's destroyed. And if you can see the screen there in a wee moment, you'll see my Bortus with Kumak as the captain. You'll see there that my Bortus is completely destroyed in a wee second. And the reason the Bortus is completely destroyed is because I was parking that Bortus in Federation space where it was getting attacked while I was offline at a meeting earlier at work, right? And that Bortus was slowly, it wasn't at any great rate, but Bortus was slowly accruing points hunting the Federation for me.
Right.
And I had one or two other ships out doing it, so my points in this daily Romulan hunt the Federation, because it's the Romulans who want me to hunt the Federation, so I'll get Romulan points for hunting the Federation ships, and that's happening passively while I'm not there, right? There's a risk because somebody will go and kill you. One of my old friends from ROG, Captain Caffeine, found there's a wee slight exploit in the game where if you go in and out of a system, the ship, there's like a wee bug, the ship will like dance, it'll be dodging around the place, and it seems that it's possible to target a ship when that happens, but it seems you have to keep loading up the screen for that particular wee thing to kick in. And I thought it was a random occurrence, but I checked with a couple of people earlier today, and they were saying no, it's actually an exploit. But a lot of people, if they're aware of it, will now that if anybody's listening, they're probably going to try this.
It was a bug. It was a bug, but now it's being used.
Now it's being used. It used to be the case way back. You couldn't really hide anywhere, but now you can do a thing which is called hiding on a mission planet. And jump in at any time here, Flando, if you have anything to add or you want to correct me on something or whatever. But you used to be able to go into. Let me see. Is there a handy place? Doska here. And go into
Mission
Doska.
planets still work.
Mission planets still work, but
I'm literally doing it right now.
right. So when this screen catches up for Grimgram's benefit.
Yeah, so within systems, there's planets you can start missions from. And when you click on the planet, you can actually send your ship to the planet destination. So what happens is your ship basically spawns on the planet or on top of the planet.
Okay.
But you can't actually click the ship or select the ship. So it makes you more or less untargetable while you're on it.
Right, so you can see the screen there, Grimgram, yeah?
Yeah.
So there's Irani Door. It's a mission planet that's greyed out because I've completed the mission that was available there. But when I click on that, you can see it'll say there's no missions available, but I can still set a course to this planet.
Okay.
Right, and you'll see that'll come up on your screen now in a wee moment. I can send any of my ships there. Because that's in hostile Federation space, those attack ships will automatically head for me on that mission planet, and he can sit there all day grinding away. I was doing that last night, and my old friend Captain Caffeine came in and obviously was able to switch in and out of the screen until eventually my ship was doing its wee dance, and he was able to target me, and he took me out. Right?
Very good.
Okay. So that's digressing away off to get you caught up with kind of what we're doing. So these events are on where passive grinding is a possibility if somebody's not using that exploit. Okay. Everybody's going to be using it now because everybody who's going to watch this video are going to say it to their friends, and it's going to become a thing now.
Well, this is what you do. This is what you do with bugs. You get them out in the open and they get fixed.
Right. Well, listen, we've exposed a lot of bugs to Scopely. Flando can verify this, and they're not that keen on fixing them. But anyway. So if you see the screen there, I have Hunt the Klingons and Hunt the Romulans to even start yet. One of the things that they've added in, and we'll give it a mention, and I'll get your opinion on it now as well, Flando, is the top rewards is now a new avatar you can select.
Right.
Yay.
Okay.
Flippity,
Cosmetic, right? What annoys me about it is that they have dramatically increased the amount of points you need. I think they've doubled it, Flando. Would that be right?
Yeah.
The amount of points needed to even get to the second top tier rewards.
Which also it gets increased the higher ops you are as well.
Right. So I have 1,080 points, and what I'm getting, depending on the level that I kill, anything from 1 point for a level 18 to 19, right up to level 45 plus 13 points.
And you get this free sticker.
And you get this free sticker. Right, that's if you go, now that's to go for 2,000. Well, so that would essentially mean normally what I'll kill and what most people will do is they'll go for the ships that'll give them 8, 9, or 10 points. Mm-hmm. Most people don't. If you look at my screen there, you'll see 38 to 39 for 11 points. I'll have to repair my ship a couple of times there if I kept doing that. For the 1 extra point, I'll probably complete many of the tiers by doing level 36 to 37, which is why I was pointing out the battleship systems earlier, where there's level 35, 36, 37 battleships in them systems. So I can grind away in them systems. Right?
Every little helps.
Right? So I'll usually go for the 10 points. That means going for the 10 points, I need to kill 210, 211 of them ships.
Right.
And that's only one of the dailies. There's 3 of these.
Okay.
Right? That's a hell of a lot of grinding. A hell of a lot of grinding. And though that type of event, this isn't the first time we've seen Hunt the Factions. It was there last week. But they've doubled what you need to achieve. And then...
would it not be quicker just to get a printout of that wee sticker and put it on your screen of your phone?
Much easier, yeah, much easier.
Just stick it on the front of your phone, like.
Yeah. Well, I will probably get Lennar anyway, just by the passive grinding. But I can't passive grind against the Romulans or the Klingons because I'm favourable with them now. So I actually have to actively go out and grind them other two. So that's I have got my Javed because he's a Romulan. I have got my wee guy there now because I completed the Romulans yesterday. So that's the only one that I've got. Like, I may get the Lennar one now, the other guy that's there. Okay, so I want to go back to what I was saying. So this ship that I'm going to select here now with Pike on the bridge is the USS Saladin. It's an interceptor. So I use that for the battle triangles like rock, paper, scissors. That beats battleships. It's a better...
Before you walk out, just stop you there. Before you walk out.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere yet.
With the Pike, Moreau and Chen loadout, you'll actually do better against explorers now.
Okay.
Even with the Saladin. Because battleships have energy weapons, but they've also got kinetic. So, although you've got Pike and Moreau giving you the higher mitigation, you're still getting the full damage from the kinetic. You're not getting any damage reduced because Chen won't reduce the kinetic shot.
Well, what I actually tested earlier, right, because my normal setup, the meta before, back in the day, was Gorkin, Kirla and Harrison. That was your Saladin setup. And then they changed a few things, but it was still a damn good setup. Especially if you had Harrison, it was hard to beat, right? So that was my normal go-to setup. And I put a question out to Phil and the guys in Hum there earlier in the day saying, do I now change from Gorkin, Kirla and Harrison and go with Pike, Moreau and Chen, Pike, Moreau and Talan, Pike, Moreau and Harrison? What way do we do that? Because it was very interesting, the idea of Pike, Moreau and Harrison, right? Tested that out. Octo suggested, I think, trying the Centurion on the Swarm as well with Pike, see what difference that makes. Didn't make a hell of a lot of difference on the Swarm for me with the Centurion. Got 1 or 2 kills extra, wasn't wild amazing. So my Franklin will remain with the Pike, Moreau and Talan setup. I'm getting 18 kills there instead of 12 with Uhura, Carol Marcus and Talan, right? So now I'm moving to the idea of completing these events and farming hostiles. So my go-to places are the battleship places, and I'll destroy the battleships with the Saladin. And I wanted to know, did I replace Gorkin, Kirla and Harrison? So the boys were suggesting different setups, and I went and I tried all of them. And I found that if I'm killing traders in that system, that this setup that I'm showing you now with Wotelin, instead Chen and Pike, was better against traders in terms of mitigation than Harrison. And Harrison was better than Moreau. Now, it's all marginal because these ships die very quickly. And I haven't tested this against higher level ships, which the whole dynamic will change if there's more rounds in the battle. These battles are lasting 1 to 2 rounds. You with me?
Yeah.
But surely, see, when you're attacking any of these things, there has to be an element of like random number generator. Like, you know, it's like
there is. Saladin is a crit chance. So if you get that, the reason Saladin is probably one of the most overpowered, if not the most overpowered ship in the game, is because its firing pattern. So on the very first round, it shoots off its big gun, which deals a hell lot of damage.
Okay.
And if it crits as well, you get it just obliterates enemies, basically. So, you know, if you're lucky with the RNG gods, you can probably last quite a long time without having to go back and so when you're testing out, you know, different ship crews, you can't just look at, you know, 1 or 2 battle logs. You have to look at a few different battle logs to see, you know, is it actually better, or are you just getting lucky with critical at the same time? Yeah. So it does take a bit of testing.
So you're talking about then the information about the meta and all for these different ships. Where does that information come from? Like?
People testing.
Yeah, but where do you get the information from?
Well, I suppose the best known guy that has done officer setups on ships is probably a guy called Captain Epictetus. Pretty well known character in the community now. Came along after global launch. Was active within the community as a number of other people like Hugo and different ones became known because they were a bit nerdy and they were getting into the mechanics of the game and all of this when most people didn't have the appetite for it. People like me and Flando, we'll go out and we'll test surely, but I don't know about Flando, but I'm not the sort to be sitting down with my spreadsheets and starting to jot it all down. I'll try and work from memory because I don't have the patience for it sometimes, you know. Some of these guys do. Some of these guys are sitting down, they're working it out, and they're doing spreadsheets and they're doing different things. And from that, essentially, a number of community resources emerged. We had all the Discords, of course, and Reddits and all of these things where people would be assisting or asking for advice and all of that. There was a wiki that was developed as well. And there used to be Hivemind, which was the bot for Discord. And LCARS now is the main recognised community resource. LCARS is actually bigger than Star Trek Fleet Command officials Discord by a couple of thousand members. I think LCARS must be up on 50,000 members now at this stage. And that's all mostly guys from my alliance. You know, that's mostly Hom guys. But then guys like Epictetus. I don't know. I don't want to miss anybody out, but like there are guys there like Ripper and different ones there. I understand started helping out Fartasia to do some of the coding or just help run the bloody thing. You know, and input data and all of this kind of stuff. So that's there now. So that's really where you're going to get all of this information now. What you don't have too much of, and what a bot probably can't give you so much of, certainly not until it's more sophisticated in time as more people contribute and more data is input into it. You can't go in and ask it to give you a recommended officer setup for a ship in any given situation. Yeah. But in time that could happen, but you're probably a couple of years away from that, to be fair, you know.
Get it to play the game for everybody.
Yeah.
You know?
Now they are. Some people are starting to devise not algorithm, but I suppose they're formulas in spreadsheets or in different documents like Google Documents or whatever way they're whatever tools that they use, whatever IT tools that they use, where you can put in things into the fields and it'll calculate a certain amount. So the boys in LCARS Fartasia and a few of them have already done this with, for example, research. Because Flando's research, we might be the same level, but Flando's research could be different to mine. And boosts that I'll get, or discounts essentially for the amount of resources I need to spend, all come into play. So all LKRs can give you is the base stats. This is where it starts off at. Your research then complicates it. So you'd get a lot of crying and a lot of whinging, people coming in going, here, this said that this was this, and mine says this, and why is that happening? I thought it was supposed to... And it's like, you're dealing with base stats here, folks. Right? Yeah. So the guys have gone and devised a tool, which is essentially, it's like a spreadsheet type thing, where you go in, all the base stats are all displayed, you put in your level of research in a certain number of fields, and then it'll recalculate what the actual number is for you. Right. So these resources are there, but it takes guys like Fartasia and these guys to be working on it. And I guess we are still we're only into our second year of this game from global launch. Like, I'm into my third year or more playing it now. Like, you know, it could be into the fourth year at this stage from when the game actually first hit the Play Store in Ireland, you know. But it's a long time anyway. It's approaching the fourth year at least. But from global launch, it's really only 2018, late 2018. So all of these resources are still developing. But anyway, that's the firing patterns that Flando was on about. You can go into LKRs and look at the firing patterns of a particular ship. They won't change unless Scopely rebalance them again or something, you know. The firing patterns will remain. So different ships will have different firing patterns, and that matters sometimes with the officer you put on the bridge, because an officer might do something slightly different. So when I talked about Kerla, Gorkin and Harrison being the meta, not a lot of people had Harrison for starters. So there was a smaller percentage of players that had Harrison. I was one of them. Gorkin will... What is it? Gorkin will... look at it now, hold on. Gorkin will improve critical hits, I think. Let's see. So Gorkin as captain will increase the chances of dealing a critical hit by 10% for the first 2 rounds. Right? And then a secondary ability, when you hit the opponent with a critical hit, he'll cause a hull breach, 80% chance to cause a hull breach in the other ship. Right? So he'll be complemented by Kurla. And only Kurla's secondary ability will work because he's not the captain. Right? And he will increase the critical hit damage by 30% when firing with a kinetic weapon. Okay? So Gorkin will increase the chance of it. There'll already be like a 10% chance to hit with a critical hit anyway. Right? Gorkin will increase that by 10%. Right? So the idea was, in the Saladin, when the first big gun goes off, which is a kinetic gun, and it's more powerful as a single hit than the energy weapons, right? So it's torpedoes and phasers, really, like, right? If the kinetic weapon hits with a critical hit, it will do massive damage, right? If Kurla's on the bridge, Kurla will increase that damage by 30%.
Right.
Right? So it's a massive hit on what's already a big hit. And because Gorkin does that in the first 2 rounds, usually that Saladin is killing much stronger ships than itself in the first 2 rounds. Right? Then Harrison will complement that by his sabotage ability. For the first round of combat, he will ignore 60% of the opponent's shield, which helps kill that ship in the first 2 rounds. Right? It used to be known as a roulette wheel. People regard it as a roulette wheel. You roll it, and you can go and you can take on a ship that you wouldn't have a prayer of killing. But if you roll that roulette wheel, you might land on that critical hit in your first shot, and you might come out of that unscathed. Whereas you could be hitting it all day, and if it doesn't kick in, you're going to get destroyed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That used to be the meta. That used to be the thing. They rebalanced the ships somewhat. It's still effective, just not as effective. The Saladin was way overpowered. Now, however, everybody's raving about Christopher Pike. Christopher Pike is the officer that everybody's talking about, really. I don't know if you agree with that, Flando, but I think Pike is... They're all talking about now, right?
Yep.
Pike's ability is that he will increase the effectiveness of all officer abilities on the bridge by 20%. So he'll complement an officer called Moreau. And we'll find her. And her ability, No Fear, decreases the armor piercing, shield piercing, and accuracy of hostiles by 40%. And that ability should be improved by Pike's ability. Now, there is a debate about Pike that his abilities only work during battle. One of the things I'm going to take a look at, hopefully here during the stream, does any of the abilities improve of other officers when he's not in battle? Any thoughts on that one, Flando?
So yeah, apparently so. One of the ones that I heard most frequently was with Scotty. If you've got Scotty max, you'll have +5 warp range. So assuming you've got Pike, his should be warp 6 because you're getting 20% of 5, so you're getting an extra 1 range added on. But apparently what happens is, if you were to click a system where you would need that extra 1 to warp to, it allows you to select the system to warp to, but your ship won't actually arrive.
That's with Cadet Scotty.
Yeah, that's the apparent issue Cadet Scotty, with Pike not working and actually boosting his warp range when it technically should. I've not tried that myself.
Right, so I'm going to try that now. I'm going to send this ship, right? So this Saladin has a warp range right now without Cadet Scotty of 55. Cadet Scotty should give it 60.
Yeah, if you put Pike on, it should give him 61.
And Pike's on the bridge already, so let's put Cadet Scotty on. Okay. Instead of Wotelin for a moment.
You just need to try and find a system that
okay.
Swaps it.
So warp range now is saying it's 61, right? So so that's improved by an extra 1. Now there are systems here that are level 61 that I have been unable to reach because of this. Let me find one of them, if I can. Because we're approaching dark space with this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see. No, that's locked. If you can suggest one off the top of your head there, Flando, then fire away, man.
I can't. I'd have to. It was actually Vinicius that told me. It was her that came across the issue and told me about it. I'm assuming there's other players that have had the same problem, but that's how I initially found out about it. But that was a couple months ago, so I mean, it's something that they might have fixed, possibly. But I knew it was an issue at one point. But I think Warp 61.
Let's take a wee look here and see if I can find a Warp 61 system that's not in dark space.
Got one, Baldock.
Where's that?
That one there, just there on
Borg?
your map. No, Baldock or Baldock. It's just before. It's in Klingon territory.
Yes.
And it's a system that you would go to, and then you've got a dark space next to it.
Okay.
See, I'm trying to follow your live stream, but there's a lag. So
I know there's a lag. Yeah,
so when I'm looking, it's like the last Klingon system you can go to before you need
for
to
dark space.
before you can enter dark space. Yeah. It's a level.
Right.
Level
So there you
59.
go. Level 61 system. I can't get there. I have it unlocked because I done that presumably before they brought in the lock for dark space. So I can view that system. I wasn't quick enough off the mark. Number of guys on the founder server before this got changed did manage to get all of their systems in the higher space unlocked, that they can actually go, and they can't travel there with a ship, but they can jump there or view it if there's a housing system in it. But there she is. It's red. It's not going to allow me with the Franklin because the Franklin's warp range is only 25. But I'll click on the Sally, and that's saying now because she's 61 that it will go. So that's 16 minutes. Set course, and she won't go. The warp path you have specified is invalid. So even though he displays as warp 61 with Cadet Scotty on the bridge, he actually won't go there. So I suppose just I have a couple of comments just in the stream. I'm going to deal with a couple of. I'm just going to flick through a few of them. Hugo saying that Carol won't help much on the Franklin. Well, she helps me quite a bit. Hugo, I've tested her. She's the most effective third option that I have. She's better than the cadets, but that's because some of the cadets aren't maxed out. HP is asking, is Talan maxed on XP? She is. Carol will add 200 damage, not modified by the swarm modifier. Okay, she's still getting more kills for me than Cadet Kirk. HP's asking Nero, Kumak, Talan. I haven't tried that. Have you tried that, Flando? Nero, Kumak, Talan?
On what?
I'm not sure.
Swarm or just in general?
Not sure.
See, Matt, I love the Romulans, right? But what I don't like is the chance when he was born. Because
Hugo and HP
on whether his burn actually.
Well, I'm waiting to build my auger for Nero to actually become useful, but really useful. But Hugo's right here. He's saying make Kumak the captain if you use Kumak. That's
always put, never put Nero as captain. Always put Kumak.
Kumak as captain with Nero. Talan might work if you're up against interceptors, but it's going against the battle triangle. That would be more to defend against interceptors, you'd imagine, you know. But again, it's against the battle triangle. I wouldn't recommend it for that reason, but it might work on other ships, like some battleship against battleship. You know, if you have to do it.
The only battleship class that I've seen Talan work better on is the Borg probes.
Right.
I've tried Shen. I've tried Shen and Talan on Borg probes, and I do get more kills with the. I'm not going by how many resources I get, or how many nanoprobes, because there is quite a difference you can have in nanoprobes depending on what you kill, because the actual drop rate of them can be quite massive. If you kill on Borg probes, but in terms of actual kills per trip,
Right.
I do get more with Talan.
Well, I'll be keen to get your advice on. One of the guys made a comment on a previous video, and I must try and remember what he was saying to me. I want to get your advice on actually doing the Borg. I haven't visited Borg space. I haven't gotten near it, so I want to do that in a couple of minutes when we get through the Pike stuff. And just look at all the angles of Pike and where he's useful and all of that and what I found today. I'll go through a couple of other these messages if you don't mind first. Hugo HB having a good chat. Okay. Hugo was asking me, hold on, you tested Pike, Moreau and Harrison. Why swarm ships don't have shields? I was talking about on standard hostiles, Hugo. I was talking about the level 36 faction systems where I was after battleships in my Saladin, where I would normally use Gorkin, Kurla and Harrison, but I changed to try Pike, Moreau and Harrison. I changed to try Pike, Harrison and Chen, and I tried Pike, Chen and Woteln. And what I found was that on the warships, on the Romulan patrols in particular, the level 35s to 37 standard Romulan patrols in those systems, that Pike, Chen and Harrison, I think it was, worked out better than Pike, Moreau and Harrison. And Pike, Woteln and Chen worked out better for mitigation against the traders. Not a huge amount, but enough to get them extra few kills if you're going to be farming in that system for an event like this, Hunt the Factions. So that's that one explained. Kieran Flanagan, I think it was mean against traders, battleships. Kieran answered that. Is that you, Flanagan? Right, okay.
That's me.
You explained that. Daryl saying, good thing about the avatars, if you don't want an avatar, you don't have to grind for it. Yeah, good point.
That's what I do.
Yeah. Hugo saying no fear is bugged. It's a second buggy captain ability. But as long as part of the bug, don't bother you as long as you don't use 3 shakedown crew officers. Hugo's is no fear reacts to any of the synergy of any group on your bridge. Hugo's saying there was just confirmed that Pike doesn't work for Cadet Scotty, Stun and T'Pring. Relentless is on there. A shout out to you, Relentless. Decius, Charvanek and Bones is good on the Centurion against Swarm. I haven't tried that. Interesting. And Hugo's mentioned now about the Borg probes. Level 29 have a weapon, 1's energy and should fire every round. Only fires during round 10, 20, 30, 40. So Hugo was one of the guys, Grim, you were asking earlier about people who had done... and we talked about Epictetus there, about he was very good with the officers. He'd done a big massive spreadsheet of the officers, what ships they're good on, what situations they're good in, and that became a bit of a go-to document for people. Hugo was one of these guys way back in the day when I first started doing these YouTube videos. Hugo was popping up with comments, he was testing things. So
I remember.
So myself and Hugo would have gotten talking. Since then, he's been in multiple channels doing a lot of the ship and officer stuff. He was always very good at the firing patterns of ships. He was always very good at what's working and what's not working, because as you can tell, there are some things that are bugs that are still not worked out, and certain things are broken that they don't work as they should, even though you get this message. It's one of the running jokes now, is working as intended is Scopely's response. Everybody kind of says that tongue-in-cheek now.
In 14, in Final Fantasy 14, that was another thing. That was, that's the way that's the way it's meant to be.
Yeah.
It looks messed up, like, you know what I mean, and it's people are giving out about it. Yeah, but that's the way it's supposed to be. Yeah.
So Hugo's saying when the Vidar is able to kill a level 29 Borg in 3 rounds, you get shot only once by a kinetic attack. Okay, so that's where you might favour Chen over Talan, arguably.
Yeah. Because with my Vidar's 3 or 4 right now, and all I see is players hunting in level 29 Borg space.
Right.
So I'm assuming I'm guessing word's starting to get around it. This is the system you want to be in when killing Borg probes, basically.
So I just want to, I suppose, before I go on to my Vidar, I have 2 days, 11 hours left in it, but I'm going to speed that up. And we're going to get the Vidar out. We're going to upgrade it as much as I possibly can with whatever I've got. And we're going to see where we're going to send it. We've also got these missions, Flando, that they reached a point where the Seeds of Life collect 3,000 inert nanoprobes. Presumably, I go and I do that now, provided ROG aren't going to stream snipe me and send me home before I get me 3,000 inert nanoprobes. I'll be able to continue with that mission. Yes?
Yes.
Now, in the Borg mission arc, one of the rewards, which I've completed now, I'm very pleased with myself, right? But the Borg invasion completed. At one point there, you were getting another 80 Borg mission keys.
Yes. So
have they come into play yet?
Yeah, there's 3 missions. Yeah.
Okay, so that'll presumably, I need to use them then. Will that automatically pop up for me whenever I complete the other one?
It should.
It should, yeah.
At that.
I think you cut out on me there, Flando.
It should pop up, and also your Saladin's being targeted, by the way.
Fuck's sake. Yes, but that could be me just passive grinding, no?
Oh, you maybe.
Yeah, because what happened there was when I tried to send it to that. It could be. No, it's a Federation combat ship. When I tried to send it with Cadet Scotty to test Pike with him, it wouldn't go, so we just sat outside my base there.
Alright, fair enough.
Right, so I've just left him passive grinding because it's contributing to this hunt the Federation just at the moment. So we'll sort that out. I'll do that now in a wee minute. Let me see, I'll swap these guys. So for the passive grinding, I don't worry too much about my officer setups. Like a little bit. Like I use the Legionary here because it's good against Federation ships anyway. But what I've been doing is just keeping these guys there. Crass not the most ideal there. It was a Hura maybe I was using. Yeah, so that's roughly what I was going with there. One of the things people told me is that this Borg officer is as a captain is decent enough. So I tried him out just on the bridge as captain with Bones and Uhura. That'll do me. I'm not too concerned. Hugo's probably pulling his hair out looking at it going, oh no, use my wreck, use my wreck and use it. Right? I'm not that arsed with it. I'll send him off down here to where we were looking earlier in Doska to passive grind that while we get on with the Borg. Okay, and I'm going to speed this Bortus up, do the same with him. Are you able to see? You can see what I'm doing anyway, Flando, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
That's alright. So IPJT is saying that you'll get your mission gift section when you finish building the Vidar.
Have you checked the gift section?
I haven't finished building it yet.
Oh, fair enough.
So I'm going to do that now in a wee second. Have we explored everything there with Pike? I've explained what worked for me in terms of the traders and the battleships earlier when using Wotan and Chen with them. Better for the traders for me on the Saladin. But it was, I think... Let's wonder if I have it in my battle log. Hold on 1 second.
I've just been sticking with Pike
I don't
Moreau,
have
and then
it.
switch between Shen and Talan. So I've been using Gladys.
Is that for
more
Borg?
Oh, no. Well, yes. Chen, no, Pike, Moreau, and Talan.
Right.
But I've been killing
Pike,
level
Moreau, and
20s.
Talan now, you see, that's on this Franklin, and I was explaining the Grimgram at the start about how this is going to be similar to the Franklin and Farm and Swarm, so Farm and Borg on this new ship is going to be the same idea, and it seems to be the same officer setup that a lot of people are recommending, right?
Yeah.
So one of the first things will be Pike, Moreau, and Talan that I'll be trying out. However, people are saying go down in the Saladin, and not the Vidar.
So, from what I found, using the other ships that's not only benefited me in the level 25 Borg systems.
Okay.
Anything higher than that, I didn't actually gain.
So at what level
then
of a Vidar do you go beyond that? What level of a Vidar do you say, right, I'm going to be going and hitting the slightly higher Borg?
I just tried each system every time, and I looked at how many.
But
kills I was
I'm
getting.
going to have 2 warp.
Yeah, so you're going to try that. So what?
So one in the Saladin, one in the Vidar.
Have you built it yet?
No, let's do that now. Here we go. Oh. I think that was a bit of a glitch. So Grimgram, you'll be able to see the Vidar now in a wee second in all its glory as it leaves the shipyard.
Basically, I pimped up Gladys. Basically.
Yeah.
I mean, it more or less explains that in the description, like it's Romulan weaponry mixed with.
But unfortunately, it's not as strong as the Gladius for other things.
No, but it is a fairly good general interceptor for those who aren't at that ops level. Like if you're kind of
Fair point.
High level 20s kind of thing.
Hardly better than the Sally, though.
No, not better than Saladin. But if you're not at the point where you can't have it, you don't have the Saladin, or let's say you aren't positive with Federation and that you're going to get
Better than the D3?
This is an okay replacement for the Kira, for example. Because if you're not going to have Saladin, the best intercept you have before then is a Kira. So
Hold on, no, the
D3.
D3. The D3.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Better than the D3?
I would say so. Yeah.
That's probably quite a controversial thing you've just said. I'd love to get Hugo's view on that. Hugo did mention something about Marek here. Hold on. Hold on. I recommending Marek only if you have her at least rank 4. Right, okay. Relentless is saying, just seems to give more battle. I tried, that must be on a different... I'll try Marek again then, bud, thanks. Have the thing you can do with Pike to help your armadas fights Pike, Moreau, and Gala. Moreau only needs for synergy. Gala's maxed will reduce the critical damage by 110%. Fair observation, Hugo. I like
Gala gets forgotten about a lot.
I like Decius on the armadas. Like he is decent. I hear the Augur is a beast. Now I don't know if they've fixed that, they nerfed the Augur in armadas or not, but
they did. Because they done a patch update and they explained what they were fixing, and they did explain that in the patch, and that I didn't even know it was bugged until they said it was fixed. So there, I was out the loop with that one, but yeah, well apparently it's fixed, but working as intended, I guess.
So I'm swapping out the Sally for the pimped Gladius. Yeah, so this is like, I suppose, it's like a Ford Fiesta with skirts on it, and a no fear sticker in the background,
Cool.
And maybe one of them decals that, you know, says driver like you stole her.
Yeah, I mean,
All these ships are even as new to me.
It's the difference with Vidar and Franklin is that Franklin is a sort of, you know, one-trick pony. It's more or less used for swarms and only swarms.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was going to say to you. You wouldn't equate the Vidar and the Franklin in the sense that, okay, the Vidar is a decent explorer, rivals the D3. You wouldn't, although there's a lot of criticisms about the Mayflower out there, and a shout out to Beck. Beck used to annoy me about doing a Mayflower video, and I never did, and I actually have footage recorded of the Mayflower versus the Vaclis and the D3 versus the Kera. Similar enough strength, same officer setups, going out killing similar hostiles and just comparing, you know. So that might be one for Hugo to even look at for lower level people or people that's at that point. It might be late coming, but I'll throw it together at some stage, so Beck can be rest assured I do have a Mayflower video somewhere at some point. But the point is, the Franklin is not as good as the Mayflower, even though. It's one thing to say that the Vidar will rival the D3 as an interceptor, as an option for you after the Kera. You're probably not saying that with the Franklin for somebody who's moving on from the Vaclis and thinking, do I get the Mayflower or do I skip it and go just for like a Centurion?
Yeah.
Which is what I done, you know.
Yeah, everyone that I knew that's got the Mayflower just give it so much hate. Even with the ship rebalance.
But given that it is
you
so shite, given that it is so weak, does the Franklin rival it?
I would say no.
No. Okay.
Because the damage per round that a Vidar does, if you look at your Vidar, if you can get a Vidar of like the same tier as your Franklin, look at the damage that the guns do. Vidar's damage on their guns is actually not too. Franklin's is like, you know, in the thousands. It is literally pellets, you know.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's nothing. So they have, you know, before they brought out the Vidar, they have looked at it and actually, you know, given the Vidar at least the possibility of being used for other things rather than just Borg. So yeah. I mean, it is a nice ship. I did not like the look of it at first, but I have grown to quite like it actually.
It looks like you could throw it at somebody and take their eye out, like.
Yeah.
Why does that look familiar to me?
That's what I'm saying to you. The spiky bits kind of are supposed to be a here like Nero ship in the.
Yeah, but the actual base of the ship.
Yeah.
That's the Gladius or Narada, like you say. You know, the Narada was Nero's ship, but the Gladius is the base ship without the pointy bits and the spikes.
Yeah. That looks familiar to me, so it does.
Well, it is kind of like your Romulan bird of prey, like.
Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, maybe. That's
yeah.
what it is.
No, it's a bit. It's the Kelvin timeline, so it's not. It's not like the original series or any of that kind of stuff, or even Next Generation era. Like, but it's yeah, it's a Romulan warbird or whatever they call it. No, the warbird is the Centurion. That's that. Anyway, I'll let any of the Star Trek canon nerds that if they're watching sort that one out in chat. Joe NTG is saying if you put Cla on the ship, it is the fastest heavy hitter you can get. I do use Cla, I suppose, Joe, when when I suspect that there might be somebody from ROG in a system that I'm going to visit. If for example, I'd be parked in Pajem, it's no secret, I'll be parked in Pajem, and sometimes I might have a bit of a miner out, and right beside my base, somebody will come and kill my miner or something like that. So, knowing that I'm surrounded by enemies in Pajem, and any one of them could get me at any given time, I'll show you my system here now in a wee second. So, we're not on friendly terms with any particular alliance. We're only really on friendly terms with individuals. A lot of people in HOM would have their own arrangement with certain players to say, like, listen, I won't hit you, you won't hit me, and that's kind of the way that's done, you know. Nobody interferes in each other's business in terms of who you've got alliances with, unless it looks like you know, that there's maybe information being passed shouldn't be passed or something like that. But we've got spies in our alliance anyway, so we don't really concern ourselves too much with that. So I'm in Pajem here. Iron Monkey's one of my neighbours at the moment. Marcus Spam has been there for a while, so he's one of the long term. Rids and is new there as well, and Daj has been there for a while. Daj presumably is somebody's alt because there's not been any new blood into this server in a while. Up here then we've got they're all blue, and if they're blue it means there's potential danger. So again, none of these guys particularly friendly with me. Some of them might be alright. We shout out to Crichton there, like Crichton's, you know, I think Crichton was in HOM at one time and all of that, and he wouldn't give you too much grief, you know, there'd be no real petty behaviour out of him. Up here, yeah, Tuval will give me a bit of a run for my money sometimes, you know. I'm not that safe with Tuval around. Two of the HOM lads there. There's Octo. Feel a bit safer now that Octo's there, even though he's not that much stronger than me. If I know myself and Octo's in the same system, we've got two other lads up here. Easier to rally the troops. Something's going down, but unless Octo's online or one of the other two lads is online, if I'm giving somebody to run around in this system with Cla on the bridge, the lads probably, they need to be online in that moment and watching if they're going to make any difference. And Corbin there, wouldn't be on the friendliest of terms with Corbin and RPH in general, but I suppose I haven't seen too much grief from him in this system. And as you can see, people out mining there, you know, I could go out and hit them. I won't be petty about it. I have no need to go out and hit them. Nobody's bothered me in the last wee while, so all's kind of peaceful at the moment. But what I would do is if I wanted to get a bit of that gas, I want to send a miner out here, say to this node here right beside my station, go away, make myself tea, come back and somebody's hit me. I have a choice, like all of us do. Just repair the ship, send it back out and hope for the best again, or give up, or go out and do something about it. Get your revenge. So sometimes what I'll do is, if there's a particular alliance here that just don't leave me alone, or I've been hit by a couple of different people, every ship in Pajem is getting sent home. I'll go out and I'll send them home. The risk I run doing this is when guys like Tuval and that are parked here, and Iron Monkey are parked here. Iron Monkey's a very smart player, been around the game a while. Fair to say, one of the longest standing enemies that HOM have had. I think Monkey publicly expressed his sole determination in the game at one time was to destroy HOM. So
on his own.
Well, probably not, because Monkey likes to pull a few strings. He doesn't like me talking, and the ROG lads, they don't like me talking about this kind of stuff, you know.
Right, well, leave it.
Yeah, I better like have a chat there. Would have said to me, I better be quiet now. I better shut up. Like, so I'll not get too much into that. I've invited Monkey to come and do a video with me. I really hope he does. I genuinely hope that he does. Like Flando can testify there. Like, I'm not always a bad bastard. Like, you know. But anyway, if Monkey seen me drop my shields and go out and hit anybody, he would be all over me. You know, if he's online, he'd be, and he probably wouldn't even, he probably would go after my ship, I don't know, but he'd put the word out for certain. Other people would come in and either help him or take out my ship, no matter Cla on the bridge or not. And Monkey would be all over my base, doing everything he can to bubble me up and stop me from going out and clearing that system, you know. But it only takes a couple of minutes, like Joe suggested there. Like with Cla on the bridge, you're fast. In a Saladin, you're fast. In a what do you call it? In the Realta, you're even faster. But a Realta's not going to do the job. So on the Sally, clear everybody out, attack every ship that's mining, everything that you can see. Send out the message that if you want to keep hitting my miner, then I can hit yours too. Wind in your necks. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it ends up just where you bubble up and leave it then anyway and give up on that bit of mining, you know. If you have a daily to complete, well, you might keep persisting until you get that wee bit in the bit that you just need. So I'm claiming 2 transwarp cells there, Flando. And Ripples in the Pond, the mission is up now in my options.
Oh, nice.
So that's those 80 Borg mission keys. So
remember, with the transwarp cells, you get 2 every 22 hours, and you can get a maximum of 8. Remember that.
Okay. I see that, max 8, yeah.
I'll be back shortly.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay, so we leave that mission for a moment.
With all the other missions I've done and all the other content, it's pretty boring to say the least, I'd say.
Do I have a spare ship? I do. I have the Franklin. I'll change that to the Centurion. Okay. Will I progress on that bit of a mission then, Flando, while we're in the background, while we're at it? Sure.
Aye, why not?
There's the other one as well. I just don't want to confuse it too much. There's the other one once I get the refined nanoprobes, you see.
You should get the 3000
pretty quick.
I would probably say in the first trip, actually.
Right.
Possibly. When you get to the higher, well, past level 26 Borg systems, you want to start looking at the amount of nanoprobes that you'll get from each kill, because I think it can be I think the drop rate for the nanoprobes can be as big as 20-25% difference from them. So in the very small levels, it doesn't really make a difference, but when you get to level 28, 20 and 30, one kill might get you let's say 600 probes, but another kill might get you only 500. So you want to actually start checking.
And Sync Gaming was saying that if you're more discerning as you, I think he might have done a video on it, if you're a little bit more discerning, checking the rewards from the hostiles that you're going to kill, the probes that you're going to kill, then you can maximize your run. Like, you can do this on all hostiles that you farm. There's just no point, because you'll fill the cargo pretty quickly if you're going to grind, But because you're limited into how many runs you get at this, then it makes a difference.
Yeah, massively.
Yeah, so that was a good call by Sync. He was the first man I heard talking about that,
Was it?
Yeah. Now, maybe he picked it up somewhere else, but he's the first man I heard saying, if you do this, you'll maximize your return. Right, so I've done an awful silly thing, and I sent out that Centurion before setting up my officers. So I have it on recall.
Classic.
Yeah. Let's take a wee look at this Vidar, see how much I can upgrade it. What do we need? Very low on common crystal. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to... What other ship, you off the top of your head, uses a common crystal?
What other ship? Interceptors and miners. Any interceptor or any miner will use crystal.
I'm looking for common.
What are you doing?
I need common crystal. I want to convert latinum in a larger amount.
Go to your research tab. Probably more. You probably have a chance
Possibly.
to commit more to research. Or
There's
Where
3,200.
I think
That'll
dry
do.
docks as
That'll
well. Oh, you got one? Oh.
Well, that'll do for now. Let's okay. Now I need charged nanoprobes.
Yeah, so that's what you get when you refine
Right.
the elements that drop.
So I level this up.
Now, the refinery, unlike your usual raw material refinery, the Borg one is on a 22-hour cooldown,
Okay.
not 10 hours.
Right, so she's 218 strength, tier 2.
Level her up
I did.
because it's the yeah, it's the delay. Yeah. Do me a favour, click on the guns for the Vidar for a
Give
second.
me a second.
Just so you can see how much damage they put out, and then do the same but with your Franklin. See the difference. What tier's your Franklin, sorry?
Now, it's both. Sorry, just for 1 second, Flando. It's these inert nanoprobes that I get.
Mhm.
Right. I can convert them to both active and charged.
Yeah, active is for promoting 1 of 10, the Borg officer.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's the charged nanoprobes we want.
Yeah, charged ones for the Vidar, active ones for the officer.
Okay. And we need to collect 3,000 inert, and it's inert nanoprobes then that drop from these probes in these systems. So we're all set to go. One more look at this. 218k strength on that Vidar. Oh, sorry, yeah, 218,000. Like, does that sound right to you?
Yeah. Again, don't really go with the power on it because obviously you're getting a big increase in damage on Borg probes with the Vidar, but that's its shipability. So, the power doesn't really,
Okay, so let's look at the officers then. Who do we want?
lower bridge, you want a max health.
Okay. So Livis is there. He's quite good.
Yeah, from the runs that I've tried, I get the best when I max health over attack.
What officers do you use?
I was using. Let me check. So I was using Livis for the first one. I've got him at level 20.
I've got Livis and Stun here. Stun's giving me 175%, 2,476. I think I'll go with that for now. That's up to 243k in strength. I won't take Cadet Scotty off there. Who am I putting in there? Has anybody tried Harrison against these bios? Have they got shields?
Let me see my battle log. They do, yes.
People are saying Talan instead of Chen. Yes?
Yeah. So, from what I read...
And it should be Moreau.
Yeah.
Instead
from
of Cadet
what
Scotty.
Remember, and I don't know if this has changed. I might be a wee bit of out of date with this. Hopefully I'm not. But from what I remember, if the fight is going to be a long fight, or essentially more than 10 rounds, then you want to optimize and use Talan instead. If the fight is only a few rounds, you want to use Chen. So the whole thing behind the firing pattern is that the Borg weapons, it fires off one energy gun every single round. And I think with its kinetic weapon, I think it's like 4, 7, and 10 or something. But on round 10, it fires a big kinetic gun. So if you're going to last more than 10 rounds, you want to use Talan to mitigate that big damage. If it's less than 10 rounds, you want to use Chen. The reason everyone's saying Talan is, Hugo said it already in the chat, because of the bug on level 29 probes that where it's not firing the energy weapon, you're best to use Talan because you're only going to get hit by.
No, I'm not strong enough to go to 29s with this ship yet.
Yeah, so I think because of that, I would suggest using Chen in that case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Harrison? Has anybody tried it?
I've not got Harrison. There's only 3 Harrisons on our entire server.
Will I chance it on one of my runs? We're limited as to how many tests I can do during this stream right now. So I've got 2 runs at this. And I'm thinking now, and here's the question. Am I going down with the Sally on one of my runs? Or am I going with Harrison instead of Chen to see what happens? And if anybody's watching and would like to see that, I'll go with majority what they want. Hugo's probably going to come up with a problem with it, but I'll.
Yeah, he's typing a long message right now. I can just imagine it.
Yeah.
Don't you dare do
What do you do? What do you think? What's your feeling? What would you go with this doing the Sally just to get the inert nanoprobes and try to get kills, or what do you reckon?
Use a Vidar, I'd say. Wait, actually, no. What?
Use
what
the Vidar on both
Sally?
runs.
What tier's your Sally?
Sally is. I should know this off the top of my bloody head. Tier 7.
So it's like what, like 1.1 million power or something?
1.175 in dry dock. So yeah, maybe 1.1, little over it out there.
Yeah, actually, I would use that then. Actually, on level 25.
On level 25.
Yeah.
What would I be using the Vidar on? What level?
Anything above that.
Anything above 25.
Yeah.
So,
from what I've tried.
So would I not be better going out with the Vidar now and going to a level 26 or whatever, 27 system, whatever?
Yeah, you could always try that. I mean, I
Right.
didn't.
So will I compare Sally to Vidar, or will I compare Chen to Harrison?
See, I'm curious on what Harrison is like, but trying to obviously whoever's going to watch this, they want to obviously learn from this, and not many people are going to actually have Harrison to even try. So
Fair point.
for the viewer's sake, I would probably go with Chen.
Go with Chen, do 1 run on the Sally, 1 run on the Vidar.
Yeah.
Rightio. That's what we'll do. You have about, well, whatever length of time it takes me to do this first run with the Vidar, you have that length of time in chat to convince me otherwise if you if you really want to see Harrison and if there's any difference. It might be something Hugo's very, very interested in seeing, and it might be something that's just kind of meh, But the fact they have shields, I think it's worth testing. some of the guys in the founder server now probably would have been able to tell me that. So if there's any of them guys watching that have Harrison, please shout and tell me if you have tested this already. Okay, so I'm looking at the Rhoda Alpha level 28 system. Too strong for me?
Yeah, I would say too strong.
Too strong. So where?
I'd go level 26.
Which is over, yeah. I would not go level 27, no?
You can try it. I'm just going with what I done when I got it.
Right, well, let's see. I'll play it safe because I've got a limited amount of these warp cells. Or what are they called? Transwarp cells, are they?
Yeah, transwarp.
Oh, I've got three. So I'll do one run with Harrison. Yeah? Will we do both? We'll do both.
Why not?
Right.
Aye, cool.
Right, so she's on her way. What can I do in the meantime? I will farm some swarm in the meantime. Now I can't, I'm going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. I can't use Pike. But
Well, we're waiting. What's what is your overall opinion on the avatars in general?
I couldn't be arsed with them, man. I really couldn't be arsed. Not what it requires me to do. Yeah, do you know what? You know what I was thinking about them when I was looking at them? I was going, Scopely, you've got this back to front. You know, I don't mind looking cheap-assed as fuck in this game, free to play, bare minimum. You know, like in Fortnite, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have a load of skins and you look like a fucking noob, like, as long as you're skilled, I don't give a shit. As long as I can play, I don't give a shit, right? So you can go, but there are loads and loads of people who like the skins and like the cosmetic stuff. Loads of them. So they will spend their money gladly, right? I don't mind that, let them. As long as it's not impacting my gameplay. And I think they've got this arseholes because what they should be doing is going and giving me, for example, right, for my grind, I have to spend hours and hours on this Hunt the Romulans, Hunt the Federation to get these avatars. That's going to take hours and hours of my effort to get something cosmetic. Which is fine. That's fine, right? That's fine. I would much rather, and that's why I say back to front, I would much rather see those avatars. I don't know, you tell me what you think they're worth or what people would pay for them, but I would much rather see, we'll go for the 54 now, go for the 54 pack, right? The March Choice Reward pack. I would rather grind all of them hours to get the rewards out of this pack, right? And get that and achieve that. That's going to help me in the game. And let them charge $54.99 for a mix of slightly less rewards and the avatar. And people will pay that.
You think so?
Yeah. You could probably quite easily... Now, you'd have to get a little bit more sophisticated with the avatars and start giving something something quite fancy and shit. Like, you know, you'd have to be able to get your Kirk ones and your... But I'd say all that's coming, right? But the way they should do this is improve the rewards massively, like these pack rewards, right? And let us get those level of rewards from the unreal, crazy grind that you put in to get these avatars. Let us get real rewards. That'll make me want to achieve them. I'm not going to go to... Somebody said it earlier, they're not going to go to the final tier of rewards in that grind because they couldn't give a shit about the avatars. So why put in that effort? You have to double the amount of grind that you do to get these avatars. I only got them because it was passively grinding. I'll only get the Federation ones because that's passive grinding is achieving that for me. And that's fine, right? I have Javed's avatar now. Okay. But look, there's the Borg premium rewards, right? Let me grind for them. $21.99 for me to buy that. Let me grind for them, get them free. right? But give me the Unreal grind, okay, if I want it, I'll grind for it. Give me that, and charge $21.99 for a bunch of peace shields and relocation tokens and speed ups and whatever, and a bit of G3 maybe, or whatever, rare and all that shit, and the avatar for $21.99. People are going to pay that.
They could have just shoved the avatar with the last tier. And kept it, rather than doubling it, still do the full tier.
I give it the full tier. Yeah, no, easily, right? But they're encouraging people to grind, and that's okay. That's okay. But imagine they never give us these avatars free to play at all. Right? Now, I know we can sound like if they like a panic, and these ones I've given out about are listening or end up watching this, right? They're going to be going, well, you can't have it both ways. You're always calling for free to play this here, and we've given you something free to play, and you're still whinging, right? And just it's like, you know, like in my real work, I work with local government sometimes, like, right? And the people at the lower end of the socioeconomic spectrum, right, often get decisions made upon them by people who live in ivory towers who think that they know what these people want. And
that's the world in general.
You know, that's the world in general, right? So that's what's happening here. The people at the lower end of the spectrum here, who are the free-to-plays, are saying, give us this and give us that. And they're going, well, we're giving you shit here and you're still crying, which is the way the world is, right? And what I'm trying to say, and maybe I haven't gone about it in the best way with Scopely in the past and whatever else, but I've always been trying to say there's a way to bloody well do this. And you just keep messing it up, and it just looks like an insult half the time, right? And I am telling them categorically that if they had not given us the free-to-play avatars, people would have still went and spent money on these avatars, and people would be running around. Now, give them premium avatars, which is probably going to come as well, right? But don't give the free-to-play avatars at all, except on really special occasions. You know? Let people pay $21.99 for them, and a mixture of G3 and speed-ups and whatever, right? People will pay that. The people who pay for them packs anyway, lessen the rewards out of that pack by 20%. Put in an avatar, people are still going to pay that pack. Right? Increase the price by 20%. People are going to, and give the same rewards, people are going to buy that pack because there's an avatar in it. And they want the cosmetic feature. You know? And if you're going to ask me to grind for hours and hours on end, don't make it for something cosmetic. On occasion, okay, but don't make it all of my options only for something cosmetic. Give me something tangible like these premium Borg reward tokens where I can go and cash them in and get real bloody rewards for my effort.
See, what I'm curious about is, I mean, these are uncommon officers. They did bring out, and you can see it in the avatar page, they've brought out rare avatar or rare officer avatars. So, you know, they might still do that for rare.
Yeah. Oh, you can be sure. You can be sure that, or it's going to be tougher to get them or whatever. Yeah. Okay, this ship is just about to arrive. That's my rant about avatars. Have you got an opinion on avatars before we...
Where did I begin? I think it's completely pointless. I think they brought us out to, you know, keep our minds occupied on this new content that they're bringing out, when it's not actually content, it's just a gimmick, and it's frankly a waste of time that they could have put effort into doing something else on the game. You know, I mean, there's a team who's spent time coding this into the game, and, you know, thinking of, you know, what officers to use and what they're going to have for avatars and all that. When they could have spent, you know, that team could have spent time doing more on augments, or fixing more bugs, or just something else that's actually going to be more beneficial to my gameplay. You know, whether I've got the avatars or not have the avatars, it's not going to, you know, make me happier when playing the game. It's not going to improve my gameplay at all. So I don't see why they've been brought out in the first. The way they've picked it up is definitely this amazing thing. That's what I don't like about it. But, yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if you can see there, but I'm after killing my first Borg probe.
Can you zoom out? Did you always play like that?
Can I zoom out? Yeah.
Play so close into the system.
Well, like in fairness, I was looking at it for the visuals of it for the stream.
It's nothing fantastic.
It's nothing fantastic, but for the likes of Grimgram or anybody there, like, you know, it's like.
I mean, they even give like a new bit. You would think of a new ship. You know, it's not quite your usual interceptor. You maybe think maybe they'll have a different battle animation, but no, it's the exact same animation as every other interceptor has in the game. You know.
Yeah.
So.
I know some of what they do is quite lazy, like. So we'll look at the battle log here for a second. $259 from that one. Three rounds.
Yeah, you find most fights, unless you go into a really high ball system, you find that most fights will last 3 rounds.
Okay, so this looks reasonable enough. I'm just gonna farm away at them. I'm not gonna look at the rewards out of them too heavily.
Poor old Borg. Leave them alone.
He's back.
They only want peace and unity, you know.
And assimilation, yes.
Yes. If
Yeah.
everybody's assimilated, then no more problems.
Well, they may as well be here already. Reject your individuality. Become part of the collective. Herd mentality.
That's it, like.
Yeah. If that's what you want, just go to the official Discord when there's a maintenance, you know. Holy shit. Everyone's saying the exact same thing.
Okay, so we're well into farming this now. I'm down to about 75% thereabouts. I've killed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them so far. 6, 7, 25%. So we're talking 25 to 30 kills. That's realistically to optimistically 25 to 30. If it's averaging at about 200 per kill, I should easily get my 3,000 for that mission.
And you're not even checking the rewards before you kill them. Shocking.
That's what I'm saying. If I can average it at about 200, you know. And this is also now allowing me to do this.
No, what I meant was you're not clicking, you're not checking how many it will drop before you kill it.
No, I know. But this is also opened up the new monthly mission for me, the cybernetic disruption. Destroy level 26 tactical probes, 2 points.
It's a fair. Yeah, you do it in the first trip.
Yeah.
Especially once you get into the kind of mid-level core systems, it gets over within a few kills. It's not difficult at all.
Well, that's what we like. Events that can be achieved swiftly and efficiently.
See, now that I've just said it's a relatively easy event to do. If anyone from Scopeplay does watch this, no doubts it'll be bumped up in the 10 points now. So,
it's too easy, is it?
It's too difficult. So
did you hear what these fuckers? That American prick, like, he's been quiet for a while there, like, but he was on that stream with that other Flando fucker, and do you hear what they said? They said it was easy. They can do something about that.
just put a 0 to the end of each tier.
Yeah, like they did with these hunter factions. Shocking, shocking, disgraceful. Some of the guys commenting here. Let me see. What are you talking about there? Don't tell him.
Nothing.
All right, he knows what happens when you use Pike, Moreau, and Harrison.
I don't, so you know.
Vladimir is saying about the pay to win aspect we're talking about. Great example is LOL. Presumably that's League of Legends.
Oh yeah, great game.
They have only cosmetics and they earn so much money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's changed a little bit. I mean, I've not played League of Legends in about 6 months, but I think I started playing that initially before. And yeah, it was one point you just buy the skins basically, and it literally not the benefited you in the gameplay. It was just the skins. And that was literally just for the look.
And what
what's happening to the world?
Was it a big? Did they make a big pot of money? Did they?
Oh yeah. Oh, Riot Games are doing incredibly well. In fact, there's been a lot of a lot of laughter and talk recently because when they do their professional sort of like tournament, like for professional teams. They always come up with this new music video, like to hype up the event. But their music is spot on. So there's a lot of kind of shades saying that they're actually getting better at making music videos than actually balancing the champions and the characters you play in the game. But yeah, I mean, Riot Games do pretty well. In terms
it just tells me that people have too much fucking money. That's what it tells me.
Absolutely,
that's it.
And the difference with Riot Games and Scopely is that Riot Games are really at customer support.
They're really good at it.
Yeah.
So they're good at conning people out of money. You mean?
Well, no. They're good at making them feel like they're valued when they do part with their money.
Aye, con men.
Yeah. But that's the name of the game with any of them, you know.
But they do stay in touch with the community. Like they're always doing patch updates. They're always giving a full breakdown of what's been updated, and they'll go into some good detail with literally every single update. And they do update quite frequently. If there's a bug, like if they release a new champion and or a new character, and let's say it's broken or there's a bug with it, they'll almost instantly remove that from the game until it's fixed, rather than having leaving it in there for people to exploit. Not looking at Harrison here, but yeah, I mean, with our customer support, I mean, when I didn't play for 6 months, I came back to the game, tried to log in, and I got a message saying I was permabanned from it.
From League of Legends.
It turns out someone hacked my account when I stopped playing, and they done a thing called scripting, which is basically a bot program, and they played 3 games and got my account banned. So I emailed them, explained the situation, told them that I've not actually been playing the game in 6 months, and within about a day and a half, I had my account back. There was literally no issue at all. They said, "Yep, send a few details over, we'll sort out." And it was so straight. There was no back and forth over this, over that, or we can't do it on it. It was like, here it is, boom, done.
Yeah. And then if anything fishy happens with your account again, you're gone, and there's never a chance.
Yeah, no.
But you're given the benefit of the doubt, like you know what I mean. You're given the benefit of the doubt as the customer. You know what I mean. That's where Scopely fails. Scopely are afraid their lives were all exploiting them.
Oh,
they clamp down. They're all exploiting. And then where there are exploits in terms of bugs, they're brutal.
Just a little note to make with the Vidar. See when you tear it up, the refinery for the Borg, for the Nanoprobes, will refresh when you tear it up. So if you like refine your nanoprobes, and let's say you've got 14 hours to the cooldown, if you tier up your Vidar, it'll refresh and you can refine again.
Oh, nice tip. Go on, say it. You get that a lot. That's what she said.
I'm saying nothing.
Why am I only seeing wee triangles now when I was looking at?
Aye, because Flando was given out to me for being zoomed out.
All right.
I mean, the triangles
It
are
does-
as good as graphics as the little
yeah.
ships anyway, so it makes no difference.
It gets very repetitive when you're looking at it all day, every day. You know, that's what one of the criticisms Flando had there is they gave this animation where the ship is in battle the same animation as every other interceptor that's in the game.
Okay.
And it's a fair point that they like if they really want people to after the hype to go, they really delivered on that, then they need to be giving us something a wee bit extra when this happens, you know, like a fancy little animation because that ship is so special in this situation or whatever, or a wee CGA thing that plays that you can skip, you know, or whatever.
And I mean, and it's a nice ship to. It's actually the nicest ship to look at, you know, in game as well. I actually think it's quite nice. I mean, they done it with the jellyfish, well, the new one. So I mean, it's not like they can't do it. They clearly can. They just chose not to.
Okay, there's an hour repair on that. Cheap enough.
Repair costs aren't that bad. I mean, mine's is at tier 4, and it's about an hour 23. I want to say, and even the cost itself aren't bad either. It's fairly cheap to repair compared to other ships as well.
Okay. So I should go and refine here, I presume.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for charged nanoprobes, and I've only got 6,000. So this would be a good time to stick Harrison on and go back and do the same thing again. And compare. Let me just mess about here for a second. Take the old Mayflower out for a spin. Send it on its way to do the Seeds of Life. Track the Vidar to a swarm system, level 26 SIO, so that's presumably where I'm going to go with the Vidar. And there's somebody ringing me in the middle of a stream. Oh no.
Is that really your ringtone?
Yeah.
That's dreadful.
Chill up.
I'll ring him again, will I?
What's the highest number of blueprints you have for any given ship, Flando? What's your biggest total?
Well, let's. Probably Envoy, if I had to guess. Yeah, so 4,950 blueprints for the.
4,000.
Oh no! I'm telling. Sorry, I've got 8,917 for the Kira.
Holy shit! That's some amount of grinding.
I think I'm right in saying this, that I've got the most hostile kills on my server.
Right.
224,000 killed. I like to grind. I matched Franklin like a few days ago. just from grinding. I didn't buy any of the modulator packs, and I've only just maxed it now. After it came out, like what, 6-7 months ago, maybe longer. It was taking me that long to max it, just from sheer grinding the mods.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I calculate about 29 kills on that. Not sure. We look at the specifics of the battle log.
Let me see.
So I received all in 80, 1644, 1656. So I make it out there to be about 18 to under 2,000 damage taken in that that fight with a single tactical probe. We'll compare it to this. There's 70.
Hull damage is like 148.
It dealt a critical there, so it was 3,000. Another critical there, 1.5, right? Okay. Different ones are dealing different damage. The critical hit was doing on its big gun. Normal hitting its big gun is doing 1583. 70 to 80 on the smaller gun.
Did Hugo send you the firing pattern for it?
I wasn't looking very closely. But you're talking, say, 3,500 on the big gun with a critical hit, and 1,500 just over it on the big gun with a standard hit. D-Biz is saying that he's got over 1,200 Kara blueprints. Nothing compared to our man Flando here.
Well, the thing is, I have literally nothing else to grind for now, officially, because you can't grind. Well, I think you can. People have been saying that you can grind for epiship blueprints, but it's like the, level 41, 42, like plus hostiles need to kill, which is basically dark space, which I can't access because I'm only 34. So, and I've got the rare ships, so I can't grind for anything else now. So, I don't know what to do. I can raid, and that's pretty much it. I mean, they really should allow us to, get epic ship blueprints for even level 38s or 39s. Hosted would be good, but I guess not. Right. No, that's one. This
Right.
pattern. Borg. Where is it?
That 26 system actually is the Federation system. It's not the Borg system. Does any of these missions require you to go into Borg space? No.
I think there's one. Was one or two? I can't remember how many, but there is at least one. Yeah.
So you have to use your
Yeah.
transwarp cells for that. Right. Well, listen, I'm not using them for that tonight. I'll do that on my own time. So if I reach that point in the mission, that's the end of that. I'm going back to Bena's Beta. Okay, 6 minutes on that. We'll go out and kill a few of these Federation ships. It's against the battle triangle, but they're still weaker than the attack ships. And I'm getting a bit of lag.
Yeah, I've noticed although it's actually been a lot more laggy since they brought out the new avatars like yesterday or the day before, whatever. I've had a lot more lag on BlueStacks. The ship stuck in battle happens.
Yeah, that's happening to a lot of people on their devices and BlueStacks. A lot of complaining about that. I had a response from customer support about I was trying to defend a base raid, you know, and the two ships got stuck in battle. You might have seen me giving out about it on my Discord channel, and
yeah, I've seen that.
And the two ships were stuck in battle at once, and ultimately the response was that sometimes your internet, basically your Wi-Fi or your device or whatever, you know, never their fault, you know. So it's always mine, you know. But this whole ships getting stuck in battle thing, it's ridiculous how common it is, and they turn around to me when I'm saying like this, and this happened to two of my ships while I was getting raided, to say then that, oh, like, remember that if your Wi-Fi cuts out, and you know you might experience a bit of this, and it's like, Jesus, like,
yeah, what people
all of our Wi-Fi is going down at the same time. Like we play on that server with the Aussies, you know, so the Wi-Fi is going down in Australia and Ireland at the same time. Fair enough.
I mean, and the thing is, and people are exploiting this, and I don't know if me saying this is maybe going to maybe make it worse, but if it does, then I will. But what I've seen some people do is they'll constantly hit someone's base who is unshielded, even if they know they're online, and they'll just keep smacking it with like Realitas and like Iran corvettes, in the hopes the ships that they've got in the station get stuck in battle, so they can openly raid that player's base.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, and it's just
it's another exploit. Because of a bug, but instead of fixing the bug, they allow people to exploit the game. But if they found that you were actually exploiting the game to your benefit by, I don't know, jumping out of your alliance and then jumping back in for a speed up, they'll get rid of that. You know what I mean?
Shame on you.
You know what I mean? You're exploiting the game, and we'll ban you if you do that. Or we accidentally gave you an extra refine option and you exploited it. So you're not getting this free gift that we're going to give to everybody else because you exploited it. It's like, really? You just know about this ship getting stuck in battle. People are exploiting it. People are losing millions of resources. Their progress is being set back by months in some cases. And your answer is to say that it's our fault.
You know,
maybe it's your Wi-Fi.
The resources getting raided. Rev Deuce actually made a video recently, and it's a really good idea. Actually, it was more like what did he call it? Oh, I can't remember. It's like
you're really fond of bringing up Deuce in these videos with me.
What? No, I'm not. Oh shit. No, it's actually a good idea, and I reckon you probably agree with this as well. It's like a compensation chest kind of thing. You know, say that does happen, and you lose your resources due to a bug or ship stuck in battle or whatever.
Right.
Scope play would then give you a chest of tokens for like power steel, tritanium, and dilithium,
right?
Based on your ops level. So it's not going to give you back like what you lost, essentially, depending on how much you had.
Yes.
But based on what ops level you are and kind of what you.
But that's looking at it as though it's a technical problem, saving them time. You know that it's a logistics, a technical thing. You know that it's like, they can't be arsed going into the code and checking the logs and seeing exactly what you lost every bloody time this happens. Is this really the only problem? Is that it's so time consuming for them that the solution to it is what Deuce is saying there. They just give everybody a standard chest based on their ops level. Say,
At least show
sorry
that
that
they're
happened. We
paying attention to it.
acknowledge the bug. Sorry that happened. There's a chest.
Oh, it's not a permanent fix, but at least give them back of some sort rather than saying, "Oh, it's your fault, not ours."
I don't know if they would even do that, because I think it's more. I'd love to see it. Fair play to Juice for putting out the challenge to them and giving them a solution and trying to find a workaround for them. It's the job of a content creator, especially an NDA'd one who's supposed to be in touch with them and meeting with Panic and talking about what the actual problem might be. That's a very practical solution in the interim until they fix the bug. Great, but I think this is more to do with a culture of we don't want to give you anything because we're not sure if you're exploiting us or not.
Oh no, they don't want to imbalance the economy of the servers.
Yeah.
that's the other running joke between working as intended and don't want to imbalance the economy. But yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm too cynical.
Nothing wrong with that.
Okay, I better stick this guy back on the mission planet, otherwise somebody will. They're doing it anyway, but minimize my chances of this ship getting destroyed. Let's set this Mayflower to go home. Okay, so this is with Harrison now. I don't know what happened to my screen there.
See me guys. I'm going to jump into Galaxy View. Zoom as far as you can, and hover over. No, zoom out. Sorry, as far as you can, and hover over Federation space for a second. Oh yeah.
Anywhere.
Yeah, just so you've got like the kind of Fed space and like in the middle of the screen, and zoom right out. Because sometimes when I do it doesn't always happen, but it's like there's like a wait, I don't know how to explain it. It's like there's a ball of stars, in kind of, I want to say like ghost systems that cover Federation space. So you've not got it, and yeah, you got it. So sometimes when if I can next time I catch it, I'll send you a screenshot. But it only hovered over Fed space, and it's just like this whole sort of like circular dark ball, systems that shouldn't actually be, or like kind of star systems that shouldn't.
Right.
But
do me a favor, will you? Will you switch off the Wi-Fi on your phone and go with your data?
I'm on BlueStacks, but I've got a wired connection to my PC.
I'm talking about. Oh shit! Right. Are you in the headset on your PC?
Mm-hmm.
You're going a bit metallic and cutting off at the end there. Maybe your settings.
Let me. My phone's on Wi-Fi. Hold on, 2 seconds. See if that's any better.
Yeah, you were saying there about Federation space, though.
Yeah, if I can get it. I think it's more just I think it may just be a visual bug than anything else.
Have you seen the old video that I done on the old framework for new factions?
Yeah.
Way back. Is there anything in that might be reflective? Have you compared?
I've not compared it, but just from memory,
you don't think so? when you do find it again, go back and check that video, or some of them screenshots might be in my channel there somewhere. Check it out and tell me if there's anything that even vaguely suggests something similar, or
No, I'll do.
because even if it's a visual bug, like it's there's something causing it, you know. And the real question is it a pure accidental thing, or is there something there that was going on in that region of space that they were working on, that there's just a residue of it, you know?
Yeah.
Does it happen on BlueStacks and the phone?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's not just it must be something to do with the game itself. Then.
Yeah, the coding of the game. See, they had in the architecture of the game, and I done a video on this. There was a bunch of new faction systems outlined, or faction space outlined, and one of the questions that I posed was the vague resemblance between an old screenshot that I had of those factions. Now, Econ will say that he's certain he was all trying to track down a screenshot from way back, where he was certain that there was even more than in that screenshot that I was showing. That at one time there was even more outlines of where they were planning to put new factions, you know. And when they brought in the augments, it vaguely resembled a section of one of these faction outlines. It's almost as though they split the bottom half of the old faction off and just give us the top section of that old faction outline, which suggests that in the architecture and the design that they were able to just modify that rather than build it in new. And the question I was asking is, the next time we see factions in the game, if we compare these screenshots, does this now vaguely resemble something that was there before, way back in the beta days as well? And if so, we can reasonably assume then they're following that old architecture and just modifying it as opposed to building anything new with it. And that being what I'm wondering here with Flando's thing is he seeing anything that is even vaguely reflective of that
Of something
there? Because that could suggest then they're working on something, you know. Okay, I've just kind of digressed off there and away from hunting me Borgs. Going to take a look at this battle log. Okay, so it's 3 rounds still. No big change there. Receives 329, receives 16, non-critical, 360. Okay, so the small gun's doing 360. That was being mitigated by,
I think.
Talan?
Do you mean, is that the hull damage?
Yeah, that's the ultimate damage that the ship's taken. Still three rounds, but the small gun's doing almost 4 times the damage, which is really only amounting to 600 or 700, but it matters over the course of 10-20 kills. The big gun is not a huge difference, but that's presumably because the big gun is energy.
Where's it? What is it?
Hold on, I'll check to see what.
So the big gun is kinetic for the Borg.
Oh. Well, Talan, it was Talan I had out there, wasn't it?
It was Chen.
Did I have Chen on first, did I?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Hold on.
Sure you did.
Oh, it was Chen. That explains that then, yeah. That explains that, and that would fit, because I was wondering, why would the big weapon be energy? Okay. So, Talan is probably a better option for me at the moment. if I'm taking more damage. He's certainly a better option than Harrison, by the looks of it at the moment. We'll finish off this run anyway. We'll get enough to do a refine of inert nanoprobes, and then we'll send out the Sally. Where do you recommend sending the Sally, Flando?
Was it just 1.175 mil out dot? So it's about what, 1.2 or something, 1.12 dot. Try with the 26, because when I was doing the 25, I was using Gladys, but my Gladys is only tier 4, so I've used a tier.
So am I going?
A tier 7 Saladin is will outperform a tier 4 Gladys usually. So.
And so I'm what officer setup am I going on the Sally?
The same one you would use on the Vidar.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. There's 3 options here. I'm not going to go with Harrison, I don't think. So because he's proven to be weaker on the Vidar than probably either Chen or Talan. That would be my early conclusion there with that anyway. It's still okay, but
what I'd probably say as well though is change up the bottom crew, and I'd probably say if you focus on attack on the Sally. Oh, do you get all your on the Saladin? Do your officer ship bonus max it like to 300%, or
what do you mean now?
So see when you put the crew on the Saladin, like on the lower part of the bridge, do you get 300% in attack, defense, and health, or do you have to sort of like choose which one you want to max essentially?
Well, like I say, because it was all down below decks, you mean?
Yeah.
I think I always went with attack, to be honest.
Right. Just stick with that. That's fine.
Because you'd expect the Sally to kill. Like the purpose of it is to kill in the first round or two. So that's why I'd be going with attack rather than mitigation, for example, or defense or health, like. We'll have a wee mess around with it in a minute when this Vidar gets sent home. They move pretty fast.
Yeah, Vidar's pretty fast to build in general.
Have you tried Claw on him?
I've not actually. But I mean, its base impulse speed that I've got on it is 120. Compare that to.
That's not bad.
Let's see, where's the Saladin? Saladin's it's fast. Saladin's 115, so it's faster than Saladin.
Put Claw on there, and it's
faster than Gladius. What about North Star? North Star's faster than
compared
North
to
Star.
the Realta.
Yeah, Rialto's 150.
Yeah.
So it's the second fastest ship in the game now, basically. Sure. Oh no, wait, I'll tell you. No, sorry. Findra's actually fast, 127 on the Findra. Like Kira as well. So yeah, it's overall. I mean, compared to other 3-star ships.
What's the D3?
I've not got D3.
Can you not check it though?
Oh yeah, I can. Yeah, ship tab. Yeah, hold on. D3 is 115. So it's faster on that as well. Yeah. 4. Yep. So it's faster than the D4, the D3, Saladin. So yeah, in terms of three-star ships, it's the fastest one out there. Yeah, for interceptors anyway.
And the Gladius is what?
Gladius is 115. Same as the Sally.
Yeah.
The Gladius, Sally, and D3 and D4, they're all 115 impulse.
Yeah. Andrew Brooks is saying with the Sally, you should go with Pike, Moreau, and Talan. Ken Twang is saying that 1 of 10 work best on probes.
Maybe if you've not got Pike.
Maybe.
Because he puts 5% of the damage onto the shield health, so that means that when you take damage from a ship, 80% goes to shield and 20% goes to hull, if I remember correctly. So with 1 of 10, it means you have 15% damage to your hull. Now, you'd have to settle way up.
If the fight lasts longer, that makes a difference.
Yeah.
Basically.
So what you're trying to establish here is between Pike and Moreau's high mitigation, add on top the damage reduced from Chen or Talan. Would that mean that you take less damage than 15% with 1 of 10?
And what I'm wondering with that as well, then, if the fight lasts a long time, 1 of 10 and Bones. Did I lose you?
No, I'm just thinking.
His defense increases every time the ship gets hit.
Yeah.
So if it's if it's mitigation and damage resistance you're talking there, if 1 of 10 is going to work in that way, would Bones and say Chen, or Bones and Talan, depending on who you're using for the longer fights, would that be worth trying?
I mean, I'll be honest, I've not really tested it much because of the limited amount of tries. I've been going on what I've seen on the cars, more or less.
Well, there's one for Hugo and the lads. Anybody's into their officer setups and testing. I might try it myself at some stage, but Bones, 1 of 10, and Chen or Talan. Right, let's change to Sally. Right, what are we going with, Flando? Andrew's saying Talan. Are we saying Talan?
Chen.
You're saying Chen. Andrew's saying Talan.
Grim. Chen or Talan.
Is he gone?
I'm taking that stance as Chen. So
okay. I'll let Hugo, if he's still watching, decide. And Hugo's actually saying that Cadet McKay, his officer ability, is able to increase 1 of 10's ability to increase 85% to 85.6%. Slight improvement. So Hugo, make the call if you're there. Kent is pushing at try 1 of 10. I have one transwarp cell left. Like I don't want to balls it up, and I have been trying out Pike, and also I do want to. We tried Chen before, didn't we? We tried Chen on the thing, so I'll see how many kills I get. And I promise you, the next video that I do in the Vidar that involves the Vidar, this swarm, we might do a community panel at some stage, Flando, and I'll throw in a bit of footage of the different officers. Might even get a bit of footage from yourself if you want to do a bit of testing on this, and you can stream the Discord and we do a community panel or something. If you're up for it, and Kent will get his wish. Would you be up for that? Would you try? Would you do a bit of testing with 1 of 10 and all? Next community panel we do a bit of.
I could probably do one. I mean, I've been saving up the transwarp cells until I've got 8 because of the probe events that they've been doing over the last couple of weeks. I've been saving up 8 and then doing just 8 trips in a day to have the best chance of winning the event. So I've got 7 right now. So yeah, I could do a few trips quite easily, like during the stream.
If you're up for it. Well, maybe, I don't know if it'd be a stream or a recording, but
Oh yeah, whatever.
Whatever it is, like. I guess I could stream your gameplay while I stream. Sure. I could just capture the screen and work away while you're at it. If you're up for it.
Probably try if possible, try and get something done on the weekend, because everyone's going to be getting the Vidar either yesterday, today, or over the next 2 days.
Yeah,
so
fair point.
Get something out over the weekend.
Yeah,
just so we're not
Fair point. Well, maybe we'll aim provisionally maybe for Friday night if you're up for it.
Yeah, sure.
And if not, we'll try and get a rain check until Saturday night. So anybody who's listening or watching this before Friday the 13th, we might do a Friday the 13th stream, will we, Flando? Will we do was it Friday the 13th? Was that Jason Voorhees, was it?
Yes, Jason Voorhees, yes.
Yeah, we might do a Jason Voorhees themed stream if you're up for it.
Yes. Scream every time you die.
Okay, here's my last transwarp cell.
So what are we going for? Saladin with
Chen.
Oh, okay.
Because that's what I used on the first Vidar run.
Alright.
You're very welcome, Kent, and I'm sorry I didn't comply with your request. I only have so many transwarp cells. Kent is saying that he should be about he should get this tomorrow. 10k for the event.
That's one thing I'll give credit to Scopely for. Is you don't have to do every single Borg event to finish it. I missed out on one full mining event. So all 4 tiers. Like, there was one whole day of it, and then
it's not another. Completely stingy. Like we've said it. We've said in the past about the whole Ferengi tendency and the whole like begrudgery thing. It's not there so much with this.
Yeah, you can probably skip it as maybe 3. I think maybe 3 events at most, and still maybe just have enough time to complete it. But it's not. Could be worse, I guess. Apparently, as well, the Vidar is meant to be really, or is going to be really important in Arc 3. Apparently.
Okay, and one of the things we touched upon, we were talking before about the possibility of getting the Vidar free to play, and in the previous founder server shenanigans video that I've done, where I have a bit of fun with the Galaxy chat from the founder server, giving a bit of a reveal into how we engage with each other, and doing a commentary on it. One of the things that we did actually discuss during that chat on the server was the idea that Scopely are going to give free to players the opportunity to get the Vidar in the next Borg arc if they don't achieve it this time round. And it would be nice if that was done in a similar fashion through completing the events, so that if somebody got halfway and weren't very active, they only need to get halfway the next time round to actually get the ship. That would be nice, but I fear it might be, well, you're not getting it through the events. We have different rewards for the events this time, but you'll still be able to get this through your monthly chest, your 30-day chest, or your 7-day chest, or something, you know.
Oh yeah, like the 10 BP sort of thing from before.
The way you make up the remaining blueprints the same way that you'll get the Devore free to play, you know. So D-Biz is asking what's mining. I have no idea. So for some reason I'm getting a pip of 3 things on my events tab, and
yes, so that's you can exchange nanoprobes for faction credit and faction rep.
aha.
Now,
Charge nanoprobes, yes.
I would say avoid that right now, until it's a bit higher. So the more you tier up the Vidar, the more probes you'll have to exchange, but you'll get more credits in return for it. Actually, I'll send you
Okay. To be fair, I'm not that desperate for Federation points. Let me see. What else is there? Klingon credits. There we go. 60 Klingon credits. Maybe Federation credits. Let me see. 175 for 60 Federation credits. Maybe eventually I'll dabble in that, but right now I don't need them. Right now I'm happy enough with where my factions sit. I've got 27k Klingon credits and 19.5k Romulan credits and 6,600 Federation credits. So that'll upgrade. Probably Spock will be my next officer that I upgrade that requires serious credits. But that's still 2 or 3 Federation officers that I can upgrade, you know. And I can probably get another faction ship out of that as well. I could probably get a Cavort or something, you know. And that's why I've waited until now to build the Augur, is because by now, if that's what I had been working on, I'd be in with a fair shot of getting it around this time anyway. Do you know what I mean?
And Hugo's asking why you've sent the Sally into Borg space.
Right. Hugo obviously wasn't paying attention to what we said we wanted to try. Not everything, and there's my internet after going down. Or the game crashed or something.
He's tearing his head out right now.
He is, isn't he?
The thought of this.
So the point of this, Hugo, is that not everybody watching knows who Hugo is and will automatically take Hugo's word for it. Not everybody watching will take my word for it or Flando's word for it. Some people are visually inclined and they like to see these things. So I had 3 transwarp cells and I debated with Flando as to how best to use those 3 transwarp cells by doing 3 different things. I thought I had 2, so it was, do we go with a Sally versus the Vidar and see how both perform on the same sort of hostiles, or do we go with Harrison as opposed to Talan or Chen to test? And when I realised that I had 3 transwarp cells, we decided to do all of them. And though I don't doubt your knowledge on this, for the benefit of anybody watching, we're going to do it anyway. Okay, so here we go. Last run at this, and we'll wrap up the stream after this, Flando. And look forward to Friday the 13th and see if we can get some of your gameplay up there if you're willing to test it.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so there's the evidence of what Hugo was saying. Heavy damage from that Borg tactical probe on that Saladin. Let's take a look at the battle log. 19 rounds.
Wow.
As opposed to 3. So how do you think that Sally would have performed on the level 25s instead?
I'm just checking the battle log that you've got in the stream. Just do it.
Yeah, and I'm flicking through it quite fast, so if you want to go into it in detail, you'll need to go back and watch it afterwards.
No, it's fine.
So vastly different.
Yeah, and you do get a few crits now as well.
Yeah.
Even at that. Still takes 19 rounds.
So I reckon there's probably a better setup for that Saladin. I'm wondering would Gorkin, Kerla, Harrison do anything there in terms of the vast amount of it? Like I think I can get up on 400 or 500k critical hits from that Sally. I wonder would that make any difference? I wonder would like Kent suggested, I wonder would 1 of 10 and say Bones, given the amount of rounds that's going on, would that make a difference? I'm wondering would Decius do anything on a Saladin in there doing that, farming them with 19 rounds, you know, this kind of stuff?
I mean, I think ideally the way spawns work is you want to kill them as fast as you can. That's the whole point. You don't want it to last more rounds than what it should. So officers that do better over long fights is what you want to avoid doing essentially.
But if you're doomed to a long fight, is what I'm saying. If it's gonna happen anyway, if the best, like if you now, in fairness, I made a bit of a boo boo here. I didn't go and change the lower decks officers like we talked about.
I mean, it would have made a difference, but I don't think it made that much of a difference.
No, I might have got an extra kill or two out of it.
But
so Hugo's saying Bones does not work as I think he does. So if you could elaborate on that, Hugo, are you saying Bones is broken, or are you saying that I'm not thinking correctly in terms of the effect he would have on a 19-round battle against the Borg tactical probe?
Are you actively hitting Rog right now, or are they just hitting you?
Generally on the server, you mean?
Yeah.
I actually haven't touched them in a couple of days. Not because I've decided, I'm not going to hit them or anything, just because I've been focused on making a couple of YouTube videos in the last couple of days. I don't get much of an opportunity where I get enough space to play the game and then maybe throw together a video or two. I don't know if you've seen.
If you go back to where your boss is for a second.
Oh, there was a Rog. There's Elijah. Yeah. Yeah. My shield is probably still up anyway. It was only an hour and 20 minutes.
Decisions.
It's tempting. I don't have a PvP crew on it, but
What's the power difference between these two? Is it quite high? Or?
it's quite a bit now. He's over 1 million. I'm 685.
Oh yeah, you'll die. You will die.
Yeah, but I could still hit him to say hello. I don't mind. It's only pixels, I never really get much grief from Elijah though, so maybe I'll just finish off the stream with finishing my missions and leave him alone.
Come back from later on after the stream's finished.
No, and see, that's the thing as well. If I hit Elijah, Iron Monkey, and if I'm distracted even the slightest, Iron Monkey will exploit that, Not enough missions there offering rare materials.
Yeah, the rewards aren't too great, if I'm being totally honest. For Borg missions, it's mostly the actual event itself. The event store, I guess.
Okay, so the Sally didn't work out. I got a handful of kills out of it. 3 kills, maybe 4 kills.
Yeah, so I think for anyone watching, probably best when you get a Vidar, just focus on that really.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks like the moral of the story. Somebody may have killed my hostile Federation hunter.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on right now on our server. We're battling out with another alliance for #1 spot, and yeah, it's just constant killing. The thing is, we're not even killing each other's ships, because if you kill someone else's ship, they get a notification on their phone that they've been attacked. So we've just all been going around, killing each other's hunter hostiles, and again walking away again, leaving the ship on its own.
Right, so Hugo's saying with Bones, what I was saying about Bones and the defense and all of that, he's saying that that will only help you get to the 300% defense bonus.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So if you've got like a barrel or something, or a centurion, and you're already getting that 300% bonus, just with your other officers that are on the lower deck, there's no point having Bones on the bridge because it's not actually going to benefit you at all.
Yeah. Andrew Brooks was saying there that he did far better. Presumably that was when I was talking about hitting the level 25s. I remember I was asking you, do you think I would have done much better? He says far better, that he did 25 with the Sally and he got 15k nanoprobes. So if you're forced to use the Sally, I suppose the wee addendum to what we're saying there is if you're forced to use the Saladin or something, hit the lower end, hit the level 25s. But with the Vidar, you can move up then to the 26s and beyond.
Yeah.
If you wish. I probably would have got a lot more nanoprobes there with Vidar if I had been hitting the level 25 systems.
Yeah, I'll make a wee list. I'll make sure that I've got 8 sales for Friday, so I can get 8 trips, and I'll make a wee list of the different
Yeah.
crew to try.
And don't go too mad on it, and don't get too set on it, because if somebody might pop into the stream and say try this, and you might go, shit, yeah, right, I never thought of that. So leave yourself a wee bit of wriggle room, you know.
Well, you've got what? Pike, Maroon, Shan, and Chen. Pike, Maroon, Talan. You've got 1 of 10 with probably Moreau and Shen, and then Maroon, Talan. So that's...
I might have to move system here for this passive grinding.
You know what you're actually better doing? Well, I mean, it's either a case of either your hostile gets destroyed or you get destroyed, and it's if you put your ship at the very edge of the system, so that when the hunter spawns, it actually spawns from outside the map, but then your ship's targetable. So it's kind of 22, I guess. But if they hit your ship, so you know they've hit your ship, so you can go back to grinding again straight away. So there's a little flip side to that coin, I guess.
Okay, so we'll call this Bortus. I'll go and finish up. I'll go and do my Swarm dailies now next, but I won't stream that. I'll do that on my own time. There's 298 points left to complete that Hunt the Federation and get Lenar's avatar. So I'll get that from passive grinding. I'll have 2 avatars. I'll have 2 Romulans to choose from. And I'll see what I can do on Hunt the Klingons and Hunt the Romulans. Try to get the last wee bit out of that. Is Grimgram still with us, or is he gone?
I'm still here.
You're still there? Any views before we finish up on what you've seen so far?
Not a whole pile. I know nothing of it.
What does it look like to you? Is it coming across as slightly better than you would have thought? Much the same as what you would have thought? Worse?
Much the same, like, you know what I mean. But like from the start of the stream, it's like, you know, well, there's this bug and there's that bug, you know. Yeah, so
there's a lot of bugs.
Yeah. Fuck that, like. But no, it's. You know the situation yourself. I wouldn't be mad into mobile games anyway, like so. But yeah, not the type of thing I'd be into.
So it's the charged nanoprobes I want, Flando, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, you'll probably be able to get enough to refine the active ones as well. It doesn't cost as much in the nanoprobes to refine the active ones. And you know, with what you get in it, how many probes you get in a trip, you should always have a little bit left over. If you do the sort of the one chest refine on each, you should always have a little bit left over. Usually. But yeah, I mean, the Vidar itself, in terms of power, so we've got one max Vidar in our alliance, and when it's docked, it is 1.34 million in power. So it can get pretty high in power.
Okay, so there's as far 262 in strength. That's as far as my Vidar goes tonight. Tomorrow I get more transwarp cells.
Yep.
How do I get them?
Claim them in the gift section.
Okay, so we'll go in here.
If you go to your chest,
and
yeah,
that little 2 transwarp cells option stays now. That's a permanent feature.
Yeah. What I find hilarious is, see if you've got 8 transwarps, and you can't claim anymore. The generous gods that scope they are, they let you claim 100 inert nanoprobes if you've got all 8.
Oh,
they're very generous.
Very generous. Yes, altogether. Yeah.
100.
Yeah.
You know, not even enough.
Half
for
of one level 26 hostile. Yeah.
I think that's quite funny, but yeah. So that section law would be there in the gift section now. And as it stands, there's no other way to get transwarp cells currently apart from
buying
packs.
them.
Yeah, pretty much. No, not even that. So the initial pack that I think it's called the Elite Vidar Unlock or something, that gave you 8 transwarp cells, and then I think there was another pack that gave you 1 transwarp cell. Apart from that, there's nothing else. I don't think you get that you can buy like charged Nanoprobe packs, but they don't actually give you transwarp cells. It really is just the 2 per day you pretty much.
Well, there you have it. I'm going to end the stream there, lads. Thanks to everybody who contributed in the chat, and look out on Friday or Saturday, Friday the 13th, hopefully, and we'll do a bit of streaming with Flando and some of his gameplay. And thanks to Grimgram and Flando for joining me.
No worries.
No worries.
Problem?
No worries.